Today I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I reverted to Islam. 5 years ago, my mum was diagnosed with cancer. And for anyone watching this who's nearly lost a close one, just listen to the end of the story. My mum was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago. I received a FaceTime call, I will never forget it, with my brothers and sisters and my mum in the call. I'm a little bit of the black sheep of the family, and I'll never forget I got this FaceTime call and they told me my mum had cancer. I'll be honest, I didn't believe anyone. I'm going to be so honest with you, I didn't believe them. I thought they were literally playing a prank on me. And my mum's my world, firstly, guys. She's literally my everything. I love my mum to bits. Mum, if you're watching this, you know the story. I'm not sure if you even remember it, but I love you. So, diagnosed with cancer. I went round her house and I saw my mum. I didn't believe it was real. I asked her, Mum, have you actually got cancer? And she goes, I do. And for anyone who's watching this, hearing your mum, person that gave birth to you, my mum was a single mother of 5 kids. We went through hell and back. That's a story for another day, but my upbringing was amazing. My mum done the best she could, and my mum is literally a superwoman. And hearing that woman that done all of that for you, I think everyone copes with it differently, but for me, my mum doesn't know this. I had sleepless nights. There was times where I would cry myself to sleep. There was times I'd wake up in a panic attack wondering if my mum was still alive. And I've never really opened up about this because everyone looks at me and thinks I'm a big, bad, strong guy and whatever, but hearing your mum has cancer, and when you think cancer, you think losing that person. I wasn't no big man. I used to cry myself to sleep, and I proudly say it. Any man that sits there and says they don't have an emotion for their mum, you're not a man. I don't care how strong you are, how cool you are, how much money you've got. Watching your mother be ill and be in pain is the worst kind of feeling in the world. And I made it my duty, my obligation to take my mum to chemotherapy every 4 weeks. I remember I would pick her up, we'd drive to central London, that's where the clinic was, and she'd had her chemotherapy. And I had to pick her up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd finish work at 2 a.m. I'd go home, I'd sleep for a few hours, and I'd drive to pick her up. And there's one story I'm going to touch on where I took my mum to chemotherapy. It was one of her last ever sessions. My mum lost all her hair, and my mum is beautiful. My mum is literally beautiful. And witnessing your mum lose all her hair, watching your mum's confidence shrink to nothing, actually witnessing it firsthand will break any man. I was sat in the car, I remember, it was 6:30 in the morning. I was driving to central London with my mum, and I never ever let my mum see me cry throughout the whole of her cancer thing because I was the strong one. I had to be. I guess everyone copes with it very differently, but that's how I tried to do it. And I'll never forget, I drove up there and my mum kept saying the whole journey, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be here no more. And I kept saying, Mum, shut up, Mum, shut up, Mum. My mum had sepsis in her blood. It's a poisoning of the blood. And she was going through chemo, which meant her body couldn't fight the sepsis. And I remember walking my mum into the hospital. I picked my mum up because she physically couldn't walk anymore. I walked her in there and I genuinely thought this was the last time I was ever going to see my mum. And I'll never forget, I went downstairs to my car and I sat in the car and I cried for hours. And I cried for hours like a baby. And I phoned up my friend Raheem, big shout out to Raheem now. And I said, bro, what do I do? What do I do? I need my mum. And he goes, bro, pray. And I was one of them guys, I never looked into praying. I never cared about it. I never thought anything of it. I always believed in God, but I just didn't follow anything. And I remember he sent me the prayer. It was Fajr, sent me the Fajr prayer. And I put it on. And then he taught me how to make a dua. He said, Mikey, hold your hands up like this and ask Allah to help you. And I said, Ya Allah, please, if you make my mum better, I'll never turn my back on you. And listen, I'm not saying I'm the best Muslim in the world, but I try my best. And I remember the next day, my mum got released from the hospital. They helped her with the sepsis and she was okay. She come home. It wasn't over yet. It wasn't over. That was my first time ever praying. I didn't do it properly. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I listened to it. While my mum was going through her chemo, a couple months later, I remember I was at home, I was on Instagram live and I get a phone call from my dad. He said, son, drive to Canary Wharf. Your auntie's passed away. I said, sorry? I said, what do you mean? He said, please just drive to Canary Wharf now. I drove to Canary Wharf. There was over 100 policemen there. My auntie had passed away. I was the last person to ever witness my auntie passed away. I was the last person to ever see it. Within that 1 year, I nearly lost my mum. I lost my auntie. And that day I was meant to go for dinner with my auntie and have food with her. And I had nothing. In my head, I thought I was living the good life. I was going out, I was partying, I had money. I thought, you know what, life's amazing. But I didn't realize that I literally had just a load of materialistic things and I thought I was the man. And witnessing my mum go down to nothing, I think it was harder to witness my mum go through what she went through than to actually lose my mum. Because it was every day was a daily reminder. We never knew what was going to happen. Every day my mum was getting closer. She was in pain every day. I remember my mum, she lost all her hair and she wore a wig. She didn't like the wig. And I remember I used to just look at my mum and I used to think, Mum, you're beautiful with, without your wig, whatever it is, you're beautiful. And then moving forward, I reverted to Islam. My life changed in ways that I can't even describe to you. I used to make dua every day. Ya Allah, please make my mum better. Ya Allah, please make my mum better. And every day my mum got better. Solid. Superwoman was back. And then about a year ago, my mum come to me. My mum's not Muslim, she's Greek Orthodox. She come to me and she goes, Mikey, you believe in Islam now, you're Muslim. She goes, come, let me talk to you. She goes, I'm a good woman. I've never done anything wrong to no one. Why did Allah give me cancer if I've not done bad? And I said, Mum, you're looking at the negatives in it. Allah gave you cancer. You never lost to cancer. You beat cancer. I never tell people my mum had cancer. I tell people my mum beat cancer. And you know what? It was a blessing in disguise. A year after having beaten her cancer, she started her business. She's now absolutely smashing it. And all I can say is so many of us look at the negatives in life. So many of us think about, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why me? Why me? Why me? And you need to look at the positives in life. Allah made it happen to you for a reason. There was always a blessing at the end of it. And you know, I live my life now knowing that family is everything to me. I still argue with family. I still have problems with all my family. But I just feel like anyone watching this, anyone this has touched, anyone who's actually seen the pain in my eyes and what I went through, there's still times, even now, I was sat here and I was thinking, what am I going to say in this video? It brought a tear to my eye. I'm not no strong bad man. I don't claim to be. I'm nothing. I'm literally nothing. Who am I? What am I? I'm a guy with a podcast and that's it. But everyone that knows me knows my mum is my world. My mum is everything to me. And through reverting to Islam, it's taught me so much. It's changed my output on everything in life. Before I become Muslim, I used to feel like, I said this quote before, I was on a treadmill on the highest speed possible, running as fast as I can, but not going nowhere. Now, I leave everything in Allah's hands. Everything is up to Him. I leave it all in His hands. And my life, I don't stress about nothing. If bad things happen, alhamdulillah. If good things happen, alhamdulillah. It's all part of the plan. All I can do is my part, and the rest is all up to Allah. Thank you for watching this. I love every single one of you.